You stop him, don't you? I can't stop him.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome and join us for the next episode of the Horror Syndicate Live. We have a couple of things we were going to get out, a couple of news that's going on for the Horror Syndicate this week, but our main topic of the night is John Carpenter's classic, The Thing. It's a movie. Yay! It's a movie that has had plenty of mystery. In my opinion, I think is on same par as the movie Alien when it comes to the suspense of isolation and during a time where aliens were just becoming scarier in cinema. So let's break this out live. Thanks for joining us, everyone. My name is Brian Enright. You can follow me on Facebook at Brian Enright, or you can follow me on Twitter at The Horror Jew. Next, we have Jared Letourneau.
Hey, everybody at home. Jared here. You can follow me at zombie_survivor on Twitter.
All right, awesome. And next, we have Baron Craze.
Hey, this is Baron Craze, the horror historian to some, the psychotic to others. You can follow me on Facebook with the Baron Craze or on Twitter at Baron_Craze.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, Baron. Next, we have Morgan. Morgan, hello.
Hi, I'm Morgan. You can follow me on Twitter at Morgan_Jewel_S.
Oh my God.
It worked.
It worked.
Usually we get
nice.
Usually Morgan cuts out when she goes to say underscore. So something's working in her favor tonight. So thank God. All right. Next we have Ray Canella, also known as Rayzilla. Welcome for joining us, Ray. Damn it, I said it again.
Is that a Jersey thing?
No, it's a Brian thing. It's not a Jersey thing. I can guarantee you that. Hey there, boys and ghouls. It's your old Uncle Rayzilla coming to you heavily medicated from somewhere off exit 18E of the New Jersey Turnpike. You can follow me on Facebook at Ray Canella, and you can follow me on Twitter at RayzillaNJ. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight, folks.
Awesome. And last but not least, we have the founder of the Horror Syndicate, Ray Merrick, also known as Razor. Welcome and join us on tonight's episode. God damn it!
Thank you for the excellent introduction. I'm going to hang as long as I can.
For that professional introduction, yeah.
He's good. It's good. He's just excited about talking about The Thing, as I think most of us are. And if you want to follow me, it's Razor_33. And you can go to Rage of Razor on Facebook and follow me and all of my comic book exploits. And I'm going to stick with you guys as long as I can, as long as my piece of shit computer holds out. So let's get into it.
All right. So first thing we have, we usually cover every week. Jared has a movie that he selects randomly called Roulette. I'm sorry. Bloody Streaming Roulette. Jared, tell us about the movie you had this week.
All right. Well, this one comes again from Netflix. I don't know if you can see my phone very well, but that's not going to work. It's called #Horror.
Oh, Lord.
And it is only rated 1 star on Netflix, so I am not really looking forward to it. A brief synopsis is there is a couple of kids that are bullying, and they get a taste of their own medicine.
Word. Oh.
I'm so scared.
#scared.
Hashtag.
No, hashtag.
I think I soiled myself, actually.
Of course you would.
Hashtag juicy brown jugs.
So if you're curious, my thoughts,
I disappear at all.
follow us on Friday.
It scared the shit out of me.
All right, well, awesome. So we'll have to check out hashtag horror. Is the title?
Yeah, hashtag horror, probably not, but you'll find out my views on Friday either way.
All right, well, thank you very much, Jared.
Now, did anybody check out last week's recommendation from Jared? Anyone? Remember the movie? The movie was a Turkish horror film called Baskin. Did anyone see it?
No.
No. It's up on my queue, though.
Well, definitely check it out, because I jumped right in it, and it's definitely worth checking out. And same for you guys online and you guys listening. You should be writing all of these down, and there will be a quiz. So
I've been you gotta excuse me because all last week I was watching on loop Keenan Ivory Wayne's "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker," trying to see if I could find racism. So unfortunately, no.
What you found was a good movie.
Yeah, what I found was a great movie.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Funny ass story.
So that's good. But yeah, so I would have to check out Baskin. I know Baskin sounds incredible. Especially from what everyone has been saying about it. I know that what you and Jared, Ray Cannella and Jared have said good things about it. And the people that are watching it when they post reviews, they seem to like it. I unfortunately saw another movie instead that I thought I would never see again or see at all, but I ended up actually enjoying it, and I don't know how that would make me appeal to the general public, but I actually enjoyed it. I watched a Serbian film, Uncut, and I can post a link for the YouTube link on the website, or just everywhere on Facebook. I can endorse it and put money into it, and then make sure that the whole world watches a Serbian film, Uncut. I don't know if has anyone else seen a Serbian film. Am I the only person?
I have.
Which Serbian film?
I think
it's called A.
No, I know. I'm just joking, guys. Sorry.
What did you think, Jared?
I have only been able to watch it once. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. I like how intense it was, but at the same time, I kind of felt bad watching it. Kind of felt like I should not be watching this.
Someone have to send me the link.
Baron, have you seen a Serbian film?
I don't think so. You'll have to send me the link so I can enjoy it.
Baron, this is the kind of movie that I honestly think that you'll appreciate as much as I did. It's very gory, it's very controversial, and
then you've got to give me the link.
Yeah, it's like it's like someone made a big budget snuff film. That's the best way to describe it. Yeah. The regular version has a lot of scenes that are cut, but you still kind of know what's going on, where the uncut version doesn't hold anything back. And I know that's as a gorehound like yourself would appreciate. I'm not as crazy with the gore movies as you are, but I will watch my fair share of.
Yes, I am a certified gorehound and splatter punk, so no problem with either term.
Right on. Say it loud, say it proud. Hook a brother up. I would like to see this as well. I've never.
Just share the link on the Facebook page and share it on Twitter too, Brian.
The Serbian film.
Yeah, whoever wants to see it, don't put that on the website, please.
I'm
not doing a review of it, but
I'm not going to put it on the website. If any of us are parents,
I think Morgan's interested.
She's got that look that she wants us to watch this.
I'll actually put in some money for Morgan to do a reaction video review for a certain.
That'd be good to see.
Oh man!
Record myself the whole time I'm watching it.
Like all you have to do, Morgan, is videotape yourself watching the movie, and I will splice together the actual movie itself.
My college tuition.
Yikes!
Yeah, and I will put the actual link of you watching. Yeah, I'll actually put money out there for you to do to do a reaction video. I think it would be wonderful if you took one for the team watching a Serbian film uncut.
I could only imagine her facial expressions.
Oh, they're gonna be just.
They probably aren't going to be as bad as you think they like. Will, like.
Well, do me a favor. Don't read anything about it. Go into the movie with no expectations. Okay, just go in there. Don't even know what the movie's about. Just know that the movie was filmed in Serbia. Okay, it's a Serbian.
It's a trap. It's a trap, Morgan. Like Stalin. It's a trap.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't listen to them, Morgan. Go ahead. Go for it.
I will.
She's gonna leave the horror syndicate because of you guys. I'm just saying that. I'm calling it now.
No, she's not.
Morgan's like,
No,
Brian's a
she's not.
freak.
Look, YOLO, you only live once.
Hey, just so you guys know, Josh Laterno says #horror sounds #lame. I'm done for the night. Is that your brother, Jared?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
And he's probably right.
So, but yeah. So Morgan is going to do a Millennial Morgan in a reaction video of Serbian film, and then we're going to see this hopefully by the end of this year, and we'll be able to post the full video up on the website, and it should be a fun time. So, thank you for volunteering, Morgan. Everyone else will get the link sent to you on our chat later this evening.
You know, Brian, we could just do a Hangouts and all watch it at the same time together, and stream it live from Facebook. Just saying.
I don't think that's a good idea.
It's not a good idea, but they wouldn't see the movie; they'd see us, and I wouldn't be watching it because I have no interest in seeing anything like that. So,
you wouldn't watch it.
You bring the pork.
I'll bring the puke bucket.
I don't think you want to eat anything while watching this. Like, you know.
Oh, well, that's even a bigger challenge. No, I definitely have to eat something.
Oh yeah, you gotta have something, nice big brajol, something nice.
Vita Scatapini, a bottle of 1982.
A nice tomato sauce,
This is same pizza.
Now the movie from Jared, I don't know if you read more into it. Correct me if I'm wrong. The movie is a political satire on lives of people that live in Serbia.
Yep.
Okay, so that's okay. So that's like the main reason why they made this movie, and it's supposed to be graphic because apparently the lives of people in Serbia are much more devastating than what we see in this movie. But it is a political satire. So
it puts value on the human life to zilch, basically.
Yeah, yeah, and it's definitely noticeable. Yeah, we'll check out Serbian film soon.
Sounds like a good Disney family movie, kind of thing you want to watch before you go to church.
Yeah, it does. Exactly. It sounds with the holidays coming, it does seem to be appropriate. I think.
Get the family together, Thanksgiving Day. Put on Serbian, turn off football. There you go.
Now,
rub the giblets, and
now,
I start with the best part of the bird, the neck. Really, so.
Now, I don't think the Serbian film is the movie you want to watch with your family because there are incestual scenes in the movie. But that's as far as I'm going. Because Morgan's got to watch it. You volunteered.
Oh, it's like The Aristocrats. Okay.
No, it's nothing like The Aristocrats. We'll watch it. Don't worry. Okay, so Serbian film. Check it out. Uncut.
Brian, have you mentioned on the podcast your Midnight VHS at all? I know I put it on the rundown last time. I didn't know if you mentioned it or not.
Oh yeah, I'll give a little mention to it now.
Give it a mention. It's a cool thing.
All right, so every Friday night you're going to join us at the Horror Syndicate Facebook page.
You are going to join us, just like you said.
You are going to join us. Midnight Eastern Standard Time, and then 11 p.m. Central. What we're doing is we are pulling movies out of a hidden treasure box. We're not going to name the title of the movies until they play, and these are all out of print VHS titles. We watch these movies for educational reasons. I will say that right now because we no longer manufacture movies in the VHS video format. Some people do. Some companies. I know that Crossbear was released on VHS. And it's actually like a rare movie to find. Even though Crossbear is a pretty rare movie to find it as well. We watch these movies that are out of print. They're no longer selling it, but you can buy them anywhere for cheap. And we find the movies at the bottom of the barrel. I'm talking at the real bottom of the barrel. Last week we had Killer Workout, and before that we had Mutilator. Both have been bought and released on Blu-ray editions from Arrow Video and Synapse Films. And we just, we find these movies that are no longer available to us on VHS, and we watch them live. And you get to comment, you get to hang out with us, you get to talk to me, I get to talk to you, we all get to talk to each other, and we could all hold hands virtually and get freaked out and cry and, hopefully laugh as well. I know that the first movie that we played, the very first movie was a movie called Step Monster. It was a Roger Corman produced movie with starring Alan Thicke from Growing Pains and Corey Feldman, the Corey that's still with us. And the movie's campy. It was originally released on Disney Channel, and it was banned from the Disney Channel because of scenes such as gore and partial nudity. But back in the day, back in the early 90s, the Disney Channel played a lot of movies without commercials. It's nowhere where it is today. That's because Disney had different ownership. They were able to release dark movies during the 80s. One of my favorite movies is A Return to Oz. So get a little sidetracked here. Join us every Friday night at midnight. And you can also follow the Facebook page. What's up?
Fairuza Balk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That movie was twisted.
Yeah. Well, it was, and not many people realize that Return to Oz is a very scary movie.
It's terrific. That's Brian Henson, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, that's a terrific. It's very underrated. Very.
And I was actually able to find it on DVD in the children's section of Barnes and Noble, which is, that's great that they stocked it that way. I hope that a lucky child gets to pick up another copy of Return to Oz and get the shit scared out of them, especially in the beginning of the movie where Dorothy goes to a mental asylum and there are children getting lobotomized because of these fantasies that they have. Oh, that's the first 5 minutes of the movie. So, in case you're ever wondering, Return to Oz. Maybe I'll have to play that on the VHS. I don't think I have a copy anywhere.
That's what I was going to say, Brian. And this is an interesting thing. If you have a VHS movie you would like to donate to this, that you'd like to see pop up, I think it would be cool if you email us, and maybe we'll send an address that you can ship it to. And if you don't want to give up your address, Brian, you can give up mine, and I'll mail it to you. That way we can, keep it going, because Brian doesn't have everything, and some of these VHSs are hard to track down. So if you are interested in donating to the VHS, what is it called? VHS After Midnight or something?
It's at VHS Midnight on Facebook, but it's called VHS Midnight Presentation.
Yeah. And so if you want to donate a VHS horror movie to us, just email us at thehorrorsyndicate@gmail.com, and so you can help us out.
Exactly. And I would love to play any movie I can get a hold of, and also put out there if there's any movie that anyone wants to see, we can I can throw some titles out there and then have a vote, and we can select double features from there. But right now I got a few selections to last us for a few months, and I'll have plenty of more. So. Join us at VHS Midnight on Facebook, and if you would like to send a movie or donate a movie to us, or if you would just like to upload a movie and send it to us, which is cheaper, you can message us on the Horror Syndicate Facebook page. All right, so I've had enough of chirping about myself for a while. I want to get everyone else involved. Sure. So let's get into it. Tonight, our main event is John Carpenter's The Thing. We're going to talk about the movie. We're going to debunk some theories. We're going to talk about fan theories. We're going to talk about the sequel, prequel, and the video game adaptation. So let's get into it. So John Carpenter's The Thing. Who here has seen it?
Oh, everyone.
I don't think Ray has seen it. In case anyone was wondering.
Which one? Me?
I don't think Rayzilla. I don't think Rayzilla has seen The Thing.
No.
He's not into that kind of movie. Apparently.
I tried to see it. Ended up seeing something else, and then I saw it a second time. But I had to I had to see back in 1982. I had to go see The Thing twice because of a medication I was taking purely for experimental reasons, under the supervision of a physician, and the end result was I needed to see the film a second time just to make sure that I got everything just right. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So was the other movie you went to see Blade Runner instead?
Well, yeah, it's funny you say that because Blade Runner and I think both Blade Runner and E.T. were released the same time.
Blade Runner and The Thing were released on the same day.
Yeah, that's right. And it's such an interesting dynamic having E.T. come out, which I never cared for, really. I went to see it in the theater, and it really didn't do anything for me then, and it still doesn't really do much for me now. But to have that and The Thing coming out almost simultaneously is quite the dynamic, quite the wide range. But in 1982, say again.
Isn't that why The Thing didn't do well? Was because of E.T.?
Yeah.
It also came out the same weekend as Blade Runner, so it had to compete with that immediately.
And Harrison Ford was incredibly hot at the time. He could do no wrong.
Oh, you meant Hot Lights on Fire? Okay.
Yeah. He was really bringing in box office dollars at that point. So the thing struggled to find an audience because it was so graphic. Also, it really kind of beats you over the head rather quickly. The movie, it kind of gets up and runs. It's my favorite type of storytelling, in a way, because the thing opens with a chase. So we're almost starting the story later. The helicopter is chasing the dog. And that's kind of my favorite way of storytelling, is to just throw us into the scenario. This idea of starting the story later is something that always appealed to me as a horror fan, as a movie fan, as an action fan in particular. The slow build-up is always nice, but I like when films get up and run. And that's what The Thing does. The Thing gets up and runs. And it's a great script. I remember the original. I don't know if you guys ever saw the original, The Thing from Another World.
Yes, I did.
The movie with the many doors.
Yes.
Yeah. And it really it's your quintessential 50s science fiction. Call in the army. It's a the creature is a guy in makeup or a guy in costume. And the wonderful thing about the Thing, when it came out in 1982, is that so many horror movies and so many creature features was still guys in suits. And so the Thing obviously just blew the doors wide open for monster effects. Up to that point, you had stop motion animation, you had animatronics like American Werewolf, transformation scenes like that relied on prosthetics. But the work that Rob Bottin did on The Thing just kind of blew that all out the window. So it's still a great film. It holds up to this day. If you haven't seen it, shame on you. Hand in your Horror Syndicate card immediately. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. But I love it. I love it. It's just a personal favorite, and it's absolutely one of Carpenter's best. And I don't like remakes. The guys in the Syndicate know this. I'm not a huge fan of remakes at all. But this one is this is the exception.
Yeah.
Without question.
No, absolutely. One of my favorite things about the movie, the scene is that Kurt Russell just lost the game of chess against computer Adrienne Barbeau, and he poured a glass of whiskey into the computer, and he called her a cheating bitch. Now,
which I'm drinking that whiskey right now.
which is what Baron is drinking, J&B. Great Scotch whiskey. I wish I had some right now, but I don't. So Baron, you drink twice for me, okay?
Sure, not a problem.
Now the scene where he dumps the whiskey into the computer, we'll eventually get to it later on in the movie, but there is a scene at the end of the movie where McCready and Childs are the only ones left. Now, everyone, Carpenter says it's blatantly obvious that Childs is the thing. In a documentary about the movie itself, and there's a scene where it kind of relates to the beginning of the movie where McCready pours a shot of whiskey into the computer because the computer cheated in the game and won. Where at the very end he gives Childs a shot of the whiskey to acknowledge that the thing cheated, and he was there staring at the thing and he already lost. So it was kind of like a nod to the beginning of the movie where you're toasting to something that just defeated you. But that's one of the fan theories. Carpenter said that Childs, it said it was obvious that Childs was the thing. But we'll get into that later. So anyone else would like to pick up on their thoughts of the movie? Where right now the helicopters are flying over and they're throwing grenades at the fake husky dog thing.
Yeah, the movie literally starts off running because the dog's running, the husky's running. The only thing I really have to say about the thing, I saw it late. I saw it in 2006 was the first time I saw it. I actually stayed away from it for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's something about horror mixing with science fiction that I had a problem with. And so I stayed away from it. Anyway, my wife had the copy this, which is cool. And I was bored one day, and I took a break from playing Knights of the Old Republic, a Star Wars game, and popped it in, and I was blown away. I looked, I was like, what year was this made? It said 1982. I'm like, holy shit. This is way ahead of its time for 1982 with all the, just based on the storytelling is fantastic. The all the kind of panic in the movie, but really the effects are what really got me more than anything. Besides the fact that I have some kind of weird man crush on Kurt Russell, but I told my wife today, I was like, I wish he was my dad. But anyway, no, the effects blew me away. I'm like, hold on, and this is in 2006. We're in the middle of when CG was really exploding and everything was becoming CG. I'm like, this was 82 for real? How these effects look like better than CG, and they still do. I mean, the remake, or not remake, the prequel, they used, heavily relied more on CG than practical effects, and it looked worse by a long shot. I just for, well, my two favorite things are the effects and the score of the movie, and Kurt Russell, of course. Those things, the score alone is really, it's not like a heavy hitting one, like the Halloween theme kind of is for Carpenter. Well, it's kind of just like very ominous, and there's not much to it.
Now, are you aware that Ennio Morricone won a Razzie Award that year for his score for The Thing?
Really?
Yeah. Yep. Wow. They just used a track from that soundtrack on The Hateful Eight just last year. Mm-hmm. That's how it stood the test of time. They reused a track of that soundtrack.
Well, maybe seeing it later for me was why I enjoyed it. And I mean, there was something about the theme that kind of reminded me of, I'm trying to think, maybe like even a horror giallo. Call me crazy, but there's something about it reminded me of that. And it kind of, I mean, if you take the theme out of any Carpenter movie, if you ask me, you take the theme that he puts in there, the score he puts in there, it really takes, the movie doesn't do as well. I mean, watching The Thing on mute the other day, I wasn't even into it. But when I turned the sound back on, I was like, yeah, the score really helps it a lot. It really ominous. But and I love Kurt Russell. If I didn't say that before.
The things you learn on the Horror Syndicate. It's a revealing show, isn't it, guys?
Hey, look, I'm for John Carpenter redoing Halloween and having Kurt Russell as Loomis. So,
Ennio Morricone's soundtrack was just awesome.
Yeah,
yes,
it really was. Okay, keep talking. I got to step away for a minute.
The film is, to Ray's point about the visual effects, it really is a wide variety of effects techniques that are used in the film. When you think about it, just about every possible effects technique of the time is utilized in the movie. Everything from model building to miniatures to optical effects, prosthetics, animatronics, puppetry, stop motion animation. It goes on and on and on. Fire effects. The movie, is literally a textbook. It's almost a teaching tool of visual effects. But that said, while the effects are astonishing, it's the photography and the way that they're shot that really, the lighting in particular, when the severed head slides off the edge of the table, lands on the floor, the tongue comes out, it's dragging itself across the floor. The lighting is gorgeous. Absolutely stunning, as good as anything shot today digitally, and that's why the effects look as good as they are, I think. But even there's even matte paintings. One of the people that worked very hard on the film is a brilliant man by the name of Albert Whitlock. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Albert Whitlock. Do any of you know the name?
It doesn't ring a bell.
Nope.
Albert Whitlock did visual effects for Hitchcock, a great deal of visual effects for Hitchcock. Albert Whitlock was a matte painter. He painted on glass. So many of the vistas that you see in The Thing, particularly with the spaceship, were painted on glass by Albert Whitlock. Mm-hmm. And he's brilliant. You've seen his work. If you ever saw Earthquake with Charlton Heston, you've seen Albert Whitlock's work there. If you ever saw The Hindenburg with George C. Scott, Albert Whitlock won an Oscar for The Hindenburg with George C. Scott. And these are paintings done on glass. The original Star Wars trilogy utilized this. Today we use CGI to do set extensions and things like that. Well, back in the day, you called a man named Albert Whitlock, and he was a brilliant artist. And what he could do with brush and paint was absolutely astonishing. If you look at the birds, Hitchcock used to get these shots called God's view shots, way back. Well, obviously he didn't have a crane big enough to get those shots. These were matte paintings created by Albert Whitlock. Mount Rushmore, the birds, Mount Rushmore from, I think, North by Northwest, and the birds and such. So Albert Whitlock is really one of the unsung heroes of the effects artists in The Thing. And if none of you folks have ever heard of him, go back and look at these films and see how these vistas were created before CGI, before we had computers.
Yeah.
Who were the special effects guys on The Thing? Rob
Bottin. He was about 22 years. Yeah, he was 22 years old at the time, and he was hired by Universal Studios. He did The Howling. was his breakthrough movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he was hired by Carpenter to handle The Thing, and it's brilliant work. It's a masterpiece, really.
Yeah, and it's even included that in the movie that during the autopsy scene they use actual animal organs, and basically what happened was everyone got sick from it. Just knowing that the fact there was animal organs there, but Wilford Brimley was an actual a hunter, and gutting animals and removing organs was a normal experience for him. So he was very comfortable in the movie, and the movie where they're all kind of cringing kind of reminds me of Alien, where the scene where John Hurt's laying on the table, and they surprise Nancy Cartwright with the effect of the baby xenomorph chest burster shooting blood at everyone, and everyone was kind of surprised. It kind of reminds me of The Thing, where the only one who's used to that kind of goes very much as when he's Blair cutting open the alien and removing the actual animal parts out of there, and everyone was feeling pretty sick. So, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there while we're on touch with the special effects.
Yeah, and I just want to say something real fast. If you're watching us on Facebook or even streaming us live on YouTube, go ahead and share. Make sure everybody can see us, and hashtag THS Live. Join in on conversation. What are your favorite parts of The Thing? Some of your favorite effects scenes or the score or characters. Join in on the conversation. Just comment below.
Yes, comment. Please have a conversation with us. We're all drinking something. Some of us might get drunk. I know Baron has a show later on tonight. He may get furiously drunk, and then do his show later tonight.
I have ice water.
Actually, there's no show tonight.
There's no show tonight.
No, I did it yet last night.
Oh,
I can
okay.
just continue to drink.
Oh, okay. So
be ready for tomorrow night's show. See?
So then the Vicodin goes perfect with the booze.
Yeah,
Right?
I know. I'm so happy about it all. Yippee!
Also, kids, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Horror Syndicate and retweet our podcast.
Nice segue there.
Yes, Pete.
that's right.
Hashtag sharing is caring. Come on.
So as we're getting into the topic of the thing, debunking some mysteries, I kind of want to embrace the part of I know that Jared's played the video game. I played the video game. Have you guys ever played the Thing video game for PlayStation 2 or Xbox?
No.
Okay.
No, never did.
Well, in the video game, John Carpenter says the video game is canon. I don't think it is, in my opinion. I just, I don't know. It's, in the beginning of the game, Childs is dead. He's frozen. And your player at the end of the video game gets saved by MacReady. Hence, since John Carpenter claimed the video game is canon, I don't know if he did it for publicity or whatnot, MacReady is the survivor and Childs is not. Now, it doesn't answer the question if Childs was indeed human at the end of the movie, or if MacReady was indeed human at the end of the movie. What are your guys' thoughts of the ending of the movie where MacReady and Childs kind of have that standoff exception that this is our world now and we're not going to make it till tomorrow morning?
I think they're both human.
I think it's kind of like a toast to they're going to die, they're going to freeze to death.
Yep.
That's just my opinion, though.
I agree with Jared wholeheartedly on that. I don't think either one of them are infected. I think they're, just like you said, toasting to the end.
Yeah, I don't think that it mattered. I think that they both knew that they were going to die there, and there was that recognition, that moment that they share, that they know this is the end.
Yeah, and
there
that's
was a Dark Horse comic book that was supposed to be a continuation, and I have it.
I was going to say, was that released? I remember them talking about it a while back, years ago.
Well, it was supposed to be one of 4 issues, and I do have the first issue, but I'm not 100% sure they ever got to all 4. But I know I have the first issue somewhere. I would have to dig it out of my. I would have to dig it out of my hovel of items of toys and posters and autographs and things like that.
I thought wasn't that supposed to be a sequel?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a continuation.
Yeah.
Now, is that the sequel that everyone talks about where McCready and Childs were saved by a helicopter? Or do we not have that information?
Hold on, I'm getting there.
Oh, I read it. Jeez, I picked it up so long ago. I don't even recall.
It came out in the 90s. Or was it the 90s?
Easily.
It was like right there. I was young when I remember hearing about it, but I didn't care because I never had seen the thing.
You know, and I have it. I should have at least tried to dig it out.
Okay, yeah, here you go.
I do have it.
I got the synopsis of the first issue. After the destruction of the U.S. Outpost 31 by a shape-shifting extraterrestrial creature, survivors McCready and Childs make it to an Antarctic coastline. There you
go. Okay. Now they say that is fan fiction, or was that actually canon?
No. Well, it was made by Dark Horse Comics.
It was Dark Horse.
Yeah, so it's a legit comic book company who it's not fan fiction. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's because Dark Horse published all the Star Wars stuff at the time was canon and is no longer canon. So unless somebody says that the canon is overruled by the video game, I would consider it canon.
Yeah, well, I guess Disney isn't going to buy the rights to the Thing anytime soon. So the comics may just very well be canon. But then that would kind of debunk the video where John Carpenter said that was canon and Childs is blatantly dead in the first 5 minutes of the video game holding a bottle of whiskey. So, but I don't know. It seems like a paradox of someone being right and someone being wrong. But hey,
maybe he changed his mind. Maybe he got better.
He got better.
He's not quite dead. He got better.
Now, Quentin Tarantino based his movie The Hateful Eight entirely off of the premise of The Thing, where you're surviving in the cold. I think that that was a nod to John Carpenter's movie, because when the movie first came out in 1982, it was looked at as a terrible movie. Even Roger Ebert himself disliked the movie and gave it, a terrible rating. The writer of the book, who goes there, actually disowned the film. Said that if you want gore, go to a slaughterhouse. Saying that the thing was too violent.
Yeah, people did think it was excessive, particularly the autopsy sequence with Wilford Brimley. The camera lingers as he's dissecting the creature, and a lot of people felt at the time that it was overkill, that the scenes went on for too long. I mean, it's like I said, up until that point, monster movies were, mostly guys in suits. If it was anything outside of that technique for effects, it was either Harryhausen. There was no CG then. There was no CG, so you either did animatronics, or you did prosthetics, or you did a combination of both. And Rob Bottin just blew the doors wide open on what could be done. But it's technique. If you look at the movie, also Stan Winston had to come in. There was so many effects on the film, and it's common to this day that more than one effects house will come in to handle overflow. And the sequence with the dogs was actually done by Stan Winston's group to handle the overflow. So they managed to have two companies come in and do really seamless work. because you would think that it was all done by one team, but no, the whole opening, the whole sequence with the Huskies is Stan Winston and his group.
Okay.
Hey, Brian,
That's
I
the
do
other
got
name I couldn't remember.
Stan Winston.
Yeah.
I do have something here I wanted about the ending. On the DVD and actually the Scream Factory release, there's a documentary called Terror Takes Shape. And the film editor, Todd C. Ramsey, states that he made the suggestion to Carpenter to film a happy ending for the movie purely for protective reasons while they had Russell available. Carpenter agreed and shot a scene in which McCready has been rescued and administered a blood test proving that he is still human. Ramsey follows this by saying The Thing had 2 test screenings, but Carpenter did not use a sequence in either of them, as the director felt the film worked better with an eventual nihilistic conclusion. The alternate ending with McCready definitely proving to be a human has never been released.
And that's best that it never was released.
So I kind of wonder if they went off that ending, for the video game.
Yeah, most likely it didn't, and that's why John Carpenter, in my opinion, would say that the video game is canon. I think if McCready was alive in any of comic books, video games, the sequels, it would just be considered canon because maybe John Carpenter, wanted McCready to be the sole survivor of what happened, and that it kind of sense what would happen to Childs. What would explain Child's demise? Because the Thing can take shape of any form and never die from exhaustion. That's why the dog in the very beginning of the movie
could run so long.
It runs for so long. Yeah, and maybe Child's, because the Thing survives by being frozen and then picked up. Maybe Child's being frozen.
Maybe the Thing is Walt Disney's head.
Maybe the Thing is Walt Disney's head.
Well, that's a theory.
But yeah, no, I think that in my opinion, it's me against Jared and Ray. I think that Childs was the Thing. I don't like how his character disappeared. I don't like that his character said that he thought he saw Blair and went after him. Childs is not the type of person, because you notice that in the rest of the movie, Childs is very team-oriented. He sticks with the team. Anything happens, he's always there. He's always questioning. And for Childs to run off like that, even though Blair was in the room with the generator, which was close to Childs, when all the power went out, it just seems that it doesn't make any sense why Childs would just run off without explaining why he ran off until the very end when you see him just come out of the shadow and have. So I think that in that retrospect, I definitely think that Childs was the Thing, and it was kind of like a last stare down. Even though Ray, Zilla, you're correct. Who cares? They're both going to die. There's nothing left for them. That with the exception of the unreleased footage of the happy ending, as far as we know it, the horror community, McCready's dead, Childs is dead.
Well, the film goer, sitting in the theater watching the movie, you realize help isn't coming. They're screwed.
Yeah,
the buildings have been destroyed. They're in sub-zero temperature, and help isn't coming.
Exposure immediate.
I disagree a little bit here, guys.
Do tell.
Please tell, Baron.
Well, first of all, the film's got a lot of very good aspects. First of all, I want people to understand that the bottle of JB does survive pretty much the entire movie. From the opening sequence when he uses to pour the alcohol on the computer, and to the point where the chopper lands after chasing the dog, he's outside, McCready, with the bottle in one hand, falls into the snow, still the bottle's fine. Guy gets shot, the bottle's still there. Here, drink this. Mourn your wound, no problem. Then later on, he gets back to his bottle again. This bottle is really good. And let me tell you, the glass in the bottle is really durable. This can really hurt your head if you're not paying attention. and I'm now done a little bit of a quarter of it. Anyway, moving along from that, the dog aspect I think is usually overlooked in this film. The affection the dog has immediately it gets to the new team. It's licking them. It's showing affection. It's looking for protection. And knowing that bond between man and animal, it really helps solidify it. During the film, you see a lot of cinematography of the dog's perspective of when the chopper comes back from the other camp. It's looking at the window. It knows they know.
It knows it's coming.
It knows that it needs to start ensuring its protection. It knows that it has to figure out the camp. And you know that it goes around hallways and in the rooms. It's learning the camp. It's learning about the people. Who's isolated? How can I use this to my advantage? All like a military maneuver, if you would. The great part I find is when the dog goes into the pen with the other dogs, and there's that moment, the other animals sense fear. Just like when there's an earthquake, the animals get alerted before it happens. Same thing. They are alerted before any of the before this animal sits dead center in the room and just waits. And it's basically there for one reason, because that's the most advantageous spot to be. If I'm in the center of the room, I can take out all targets in one shot in every direction. So that part of the film, I know, preyed upon some people's emotions because, you know, again, it's tied to the animal, a husky. You know, they get tied to that. Now, just to also mention, Carpenter was against the film being released when it was released. He told the production studio, don't release the movie. Reason. On June 11th, E.T. comes out. It's the happy alien. It's the good alien. Yeah, who gives a shit? Anyway, soon after that, we got the figures, the board game, and everything else attached to it.
The bad Atari game excluded.
Right now,
Reese's Pieces.
On the 25th,
The fleshlight.
on the 25th, the thing comes out. Everybody's got the happy alien, and now you bring this. And nobody's ready for this film. Let's face it. Critics aren't ready. The audience isn't ready. Nobody's ready. If they waited a month, it could have been better. But, you know, studios got to cash in the buck on the return investment as fast as possible. Now, just a note, also, Ray Zilla brought this up on the Albert Whitlock. His style of paint on glass has been used by others in the industry. Most notably, it was used in a film that we had discussed a little bit last week. In one of the sequels, The Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, Dream Master. In the opening sequence, it's in the junkyard. That pull-up shot from there is painted on glass and is borrowed from Albert Whitlock's techniques and style, just to throw that out to all the horror fans so they're aware of it.
Fun fact.
Yes, but we can have another fun fact, because many of you know that the Baron really likes his Second Amendment rights of firearms. So let's give you a little rundown on what was used. Most noted weapon in the movie was the Colt Trooper MK3, which, by the way, was also used in Devil Reject, The Wrong Turn 3, Night of Terrors, Halloween 2, The Fury, and a favorite weapon of all the Dirty Harry films. Speaking of that, you have the little awkward using the HK 93A2, which was used by the guys in the chopper. It has an awful kickback, and it's not that great of a weapon. There's a couple other HKs you could use instead. And, of course, don't forget, you've got your shotgun out there, your Ithaca 37, which, of course, you should be aware that is available for the Car movie from 77. Terminator has it used. And, of course, Eastwood, again, likes to use the weapon. And for all the kiddies out there who don't know what to get themselves for either Thanksgiving, when the in-laws show up, or for Christmas, there is an M2A1-7 flamethrower. You may say, Baron, come on, a flamethrower? Who can get that? Believe it or not, it's legal in every state in the union. There's a site where you can buy a flamethrower. There you go.
That is true.
That is-
Dial 1-800 flamethrower.
You can buy a
1-800 flamethrower.
Yes.
You
So
absolutely
we'll
can.
throw a few things out to everybody there so they get a note that, yes, the Baron's got some sick, twisted thoughts. But otherwise, I enjoyed the film a lot. And as for the theory at the end, I believe that Childs is the thing. And here's the reason why. You're all saying that because it freezes, they die. But this thing is mentioned in the film that it wants warmth. You know,
Yeah.
the warmth area, right? It's like, oh God, it's got warmth. We want to light up the camp and burn it and make it really unhappy. This thing was frozen in the ice.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes out of the ice. So what? It goes back to being frozen and suddenly, oh, frozen. Okay, he's dead. No. Can it just go into a hibernation mode and just wait? I mean,
That's right.
I
Yeah.
learned from the first film, really, the original, Razor, you'll go back, that this thing is a bunch of seeds. If you cut off its arm, another arm grows back. It's in the seeds, so it can just grow when it wants to. It hibernates in the winter, and hey, when I'm ready, I found the next host to get out to. So I think Childs is either the alien, and McReady knows there's nothing he can do. I mean, he's tired. He's got nothing left. I don't know if there's any juice left in the flamethrower for him. I doesn't really think so.
They both don't look very good at that point.
He gives this look at the end of the film with that kind of glint of, oh, well, I gave you my best shot, so.
Yeah. Because at that point, who cares? You know,
Right.
Because it's inevitable. You know, the thing's going to freeze, and whoever's human is going to die. Now, with that, you know, Baron, you brought some really good points of the movie, especially analyzing, especially with the weapons. I want to go. I want to go to the character of Fuchs. Fuchs ends up running away. They find a burned body. Now, he said that he was on his way to go get Blair. When McCready and Childs and Knowles goes outside, they find a burned body with Fuchs' clothing. Now, do you think that this actually can go for anybody? Do you think that Fuchs actually was the thing as well, and he escaped to go spread? Because they never really they just see a burned body, and it happens so quickly. Because Baron, you're the expert of murder and just death in general. So when a body burns, okay. Despite how cold it is outside, when a body burns and the person's only been missing for maybe like an hour or two, is there supposed to be some type of smoke or fire that comes off the body when you discover it after an hour? Maybe let's give it the benefit of the doubt, 3 hours after it's already on fire, especially in that cold.
No, probably not. And you could say, okay, well, the material they're using is a petroleum-based product because of the insulation in their jackets and such, but it's not going to burn for 3 hours. It's just not. I mean, there's not enough there. I mean, if you're saying he got burned, and again, we're going, well, how was he burned? I think it was a flare that he uses. Well, flare's only going to give you so much. So even if you applied that directly to the winter clothing, which a lot of people do know who go hunting and such, is extremely flammable if you needed to use it. But it's not going to burn for 3 hours. It's not going to give that kind of smoke for that period of time. Just look at the end of the film, in fact. There's fires everywhere, and some of them are dying down. The smoke is dying down. So if those fires there are representative of a larger section of this fire here, well, if the smoke and fires are already dying down, these huge blazes, how's a little blaze going to last that long with the residue smoke coming up? I just don't see it. And by the way, for all the kiddies out there and everybody else who's kind of listening to us, I do have the thing playing here on my TV, and we've just got basically back to the camp, and everybody's still drinking the JB. I love this bottle; it keeps going through the entire film. So
yeah. So while you're at that point, this goes for everyone as well. they try to keep it hidden who the first person that was infected by the thing when the dog goes in from one room to the next room, when you're following the dog and he's traveling, and then he goes into the room of the silhouette. Now, I always thought that was Norse because of the body shape. Norse had a very specific body shape to him. He was stout, he had curly hair, and he had the chin going on, the double chin, and you see a silhouette of a shadow. Now, no other character in that movie's body type portrayed than what we saw in the shadow. Does everyone remember that scene?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
they answered, so I don't know.
So they go in. So Carpenter says that he tried to keep that mystery character, hidden and always a mystery. Now, does anyone else agree that if it was Norse or not? Or do you have another idea of who that may have been?
Well, Clark had the same body type, but we know now that character, because he's shot in the forehead, mm-hmm. We know that he was not the creature.
Yeah.
But Clark did have the similar body type. But, yeah, I mean, it is left. Carpenter, the script places us, the audience, in the predicament that the characters find themselves in. We don't trust the characters either. They don't trust one another, and I think that's why it's deliberately ambiguous, that particular scene, and I feel it's deliberately ambiguous at the end. We're placed in the same predicament as the characters. We don't see who that is. Look, a director chooses what we see and what we don't see. These are very deliberate decisions. So there's a reason why we can't tell who that individual is when the door goes into that room. And the best part of the film, besides the effects, the best part of the film is the paranoia, which is the heart of the movie, not the effects.
The cabinet.
They turn on one another. They begin. I mean, they become as dangerous towards one another as the creature is, mm-hmm. And that's the juiciness of the story. It's wonderful to dazzle an audience with effects, but you still have to tell them a story, and that mm-hmm. paranoia and that uneasiness. Effective horror leaves the audience feeling uncomfortable. There's an uncomfortable feeling when they're all accusing one another. Carpenter then uses humor, particularly in the sequence where they're testing the blood. We go through this horrific moment, and yet, the scene wraps up with, a very, very funny line. I'm not going to spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch. The audience in the theater laughs. It's a release valve from all of the intensity that we've been building up until that moment. There's so much doubt amongst the cast. There's so much accusation. There is so much mistrust, and then we receive our answer in the blood test and in that sequence. And the smart thing to do is to allow the audience to breathe. And that line of dialogue allows the audience to let out that laugh so that we can get, geared up for the rest of the film.
And
it's a wonderful script.
You don't find that shit in E.T. I'm sorry.
No.
Elliot.
The film...
I do have a question.
I really didn't like that movie. I truly did not like that movie. I did not understand the appeal of that movie at all. That one went, and I love Spielberg. My favorites are Jaws and Jurassic Park and Schindler's List, and I love him dearly. But boy, that movie was not made for me.
I do have a question, though. I'm kind of brain farting. Did they blood test McCready at all during the movie?
He was the first one, or he was the second person to be drunk.
He delivers the line. Now I'm going to show you what I already know.
Right.
And,
okay, was this before or after his torn jacket was found outside?
Oh, this is after, because they all accuse him Because they
Okay.
find the torn jacket, he threatens all of them with a bundle of dynamite. So,
Okay. Yeah.
so yeah, this is well after that, and he's the first one tested.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what I already know.
Yeah,
It's
and
terrific.
the whole blood test scene is one of my favorite horror scenes in any movie. It's up there at the top 5 horror scenes because it's that fear of not knowing what's happening, but it's also the fear of this is the arc of the story. We now know how people can become infected, and we're right here in the very core of this movie is about. And the one scene with Palmer, going back to the little hints and clues that Carpenter was giving, because you're right, it's just a story that is paranoia. And the one scene where Palmer is watching television with Childs, and that's the first time in the movie where he is not wearing his vest, his hard rock vest that he wears at the beginning of the movie, and then when he comes back for the blood testing scene. So that was kind of a moment where it hinted that the thing got to him, because he came back and he was wearing that hard rock vest, but when he was watching television with Childs, he wasn't wearing the vest. Discovering that thing takes kills you and takes you over, it rips your clothes off, and that was a piece of article that was never ripped off, was the vest. So it's just like little hints and clues that we get.
Well, also in the film, it does show, even though we say they're dead, they've been burned up or such, there's a scene when they're moving the bodies into the storage room, and we start to see that little shot of the blood dripping down. At first we don't really think much of it. We just think, okay, it's residue off the body. But when we move along to where the blood in the petri dish, it's kind of it relates back to that little blood dripping down is a living orgasm, and it's going to
Organ.
yes, orgasm. I like it.
Nice.
That's called JB drinking, baby.
Please send your cards and letters to Baron Craze,
The alcoholic of the
care
group.
of Murray Hill Station, New York, 10023.
Well, you must like that version. We were getting a little dry there, folks. We had to lighten it up. Morgan didn't look a little appealing there. Now she's laughing. There we go. Baron's drinking.
I want to hear what Morgan's got to say. Morgan, did you like that?
I know she's having trouble going back from this week. Thing.
Besides your goal to watch Serbian film, let's talk about your input of The Thing. What did you think of it?
I liked it. Like you were saying, I liked the blood testing scene. I think that was like my favorite part of the movie, and I really liked the story of Roy thing. And yep.
Now here's a fun trivia for you, Morgan. You being the only girl here, in the movie, the lead was actually supposed to be played by a female, but the actress got pregnant, and they were shooting in cold temperatures, and they actually rewrote her part, and I believe that part was Child's, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it was Child's or if it was the other Nolly, I believe, or Knowles. So I think she was replaced, pregnant, and then they brought in either TK Carter, who played Knowles, or they brought in Keith. The actors Keith David, TK Carter were both 26 years old when they did The Thing. Keith.
What?
You cut out.
Cutting out, buddy.
Cut out big time.
Oh, Keith David was 25 years old when he was in The Thing.
Okay.
It sounds like someone keeps tapping their keyboard.
It isn't me. I've just been drinking. Sorry.
That's me. I'm going back and forth between windows.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what we're
Did
hearing.
you heard what I said though? Keith David was 25 years old when he did The Thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I said all right. So pretty much the female was supposed to be in the movie, but she got pregnant, and then John Carpenter replaced her with one of the younger actors.
Well, there was a female role in the original. Not a terrific part. Sadly, in the 1950s, she more or less made coffee for the rest of the men at the outpost. I'm sorry?
There were 2 women in that film. I mean, one really had a minor part, but there were 2 women in that film.
That's right.
Yeah, one was...
But that was a staple of the 1950s.
Yeah.
So.
But there were just 2. Just to clarify it, Okay.
Yeah, so there was women in the original, and then there was no women in the Carpenter version. In 2011, there was a female lead that's right. There was 2 women in the one turns, and the other is the main character, and she just kind of survives. Yeah, it's got really bad CGI. She gets naked, but yeah, what are you guys? Now that we talked about The Thing, why don't we talk about the stories of The Thing and overall the cult status as we get to the final 10 minutes of our episode. Has everyone seen the 2011 version of The Thing?
Yes, I did.
Sadly, yes, I saw it. Yes.
Yep.
I haven't.
And it's a forgettable movie. Unfortunately, it just kind of you shake your head and you wonder why. I'm not a big fan of prequels. We kind of know we already know the fate of these characters. Because we know the 1982 film so well, so we really kind of know where this is headed. Sure, we get to see the creature that is ultimately unearthed by Kurt Russell and the team in the 1982 film, but for the most part, it's almost a remake in many ways. It follows almost the same structure as the 1982 film, almost right up until the ending. So
I think it's more of
a disappointment.
I think it's more of a love letter to John.
I can see it that way.
Because the Norwegian camp was built set for set compared to Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh yeah, this was a very deliberate attempt to make a movie that worked seamlessly with Carpenter's film, but at the same time, I don't know, it just seemed to ape all of the things. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's homage and there's another way of looking at it as well, but it seems like the same movie.
Yeah, and I felt like
how they tied the ending to the beginning of the '82 film, though.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
with the dog getting away and all of that, you have to kind of do that. But again, for me, it played itself out to its logical conclusion.
I kind of felt cheated a little bit though with building up to that ending, because they come up that it's a remake, and then you find out that it's a prequel. But I feel a little cheated knowing that I waited the entire movie just to find out that was the original Norwegian helicopter team that went after the dog. But that's just me.
You mean you didn't pick up on the fact that this was a prequel from the beginning?
No.
Wow. See, because of the 2 people whose faces merge, that is the thing that's the thing from Carpenter's film in 1982. It's the same identical creature.
Well, you got to remember
Rob Bottin's design. Rob Bottin's design is reused. It's repurposed for the 2011 film to show the original creature.
You got to remember that this was before when the movie was being released. The world knew it as a reboot. So I kind of went in there expecting a reboot. And that's what it felt like to me in the very beginning. And then you start to pick up the clue, kind of like Prometheus did, where you didn't know that it was going to tie into the Alien franchise, but it did at the very end. And you start picking up those little things. Now we have the wonderful world of internet. 2011, it was just the beginning, was like the big boom of where we're at now. So not everyone knew that this is going to be a prequel right away.
Part of the problem is what they named it.
Yeah.
Why, they named it The Thing, which for me, whenever I heard it was coming out, I was like, oh, they're remaking The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
But even going into watching it for the first time, I bought it on DVD before seeing it, and I thought it was a remake as well. And then I read the back; it says Prelude to The Thing. So I'm like, oh, and I just only watched it this year for the first time.
I never had that. Even going into seeing the movie, I knew up front that this was a prequel.
So did I. Yeah.
Well,
what do you know about that?
Yeah, well,
You just killed everybody there, Ray Zoa. Boy.
well, I mean, yeah, but it was for me going into it, I'm a bigger fan of The Thing than I was back in 2011. Especially for my generation, we started getting access to these movies, later to 2010, not so much the beginning of the millennium, but a little bit later. And we started getting, the internet started helping us out. We didn't necessarily grow up with the Thing back in 1982. We just remember everyone talking about it and it being word of mouth. Now you go on any website and they talk about the top 10 horror movies of all time, and The Thing is like number 3 or number 4.
Pretty prevalent.
You have that available. Where
does anybody know where it ranks on our list?
Like number 2?
One.
Oh, it's got to be in the top 25.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Here we go. So yeah, I mean, like you go anywhere on any list and you find The Thing. Now because I won't go into it, but yeah. So back in 2011, people, relative to my age and younger, and even a little bit older, we didn't have the knowledge of knowing that the Thing was such a it was such a cult success. And it wasn't until a few years after where we started catching on that The Thing was a cult success. So going into The Thing, not knowing if it was a prequel or if it was a reboot, we went into it thinking that this was a new movie, and maybe we didn't get the references that it was that was referring back to the original 1982 The Thing. But at the very end, everything just ties in. It just made sense, at least to me and the peers that I was watching it with. And that says a lot because they were watching the movie and they never saw the original Thing when I had my friends together. So they're watching this movie for the first time. They're like, "The fuck is this movie?"
That might have been a good thing, though.
Yeah.
Going in fresh and not knowing what the original was like, because they borrowed. I mean, it was they mixed like the blood test scene.
It was really close to the original.
They did a lot.
Yes,
very
that's
similar.
how I felt about it. I really felt like they kind of aped the first movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It wasn't anything fresh. I mean, the only thing that was the biggest difference to me was, you got to see that it was unearthed. Where in the Thing, it's a dog running to the camp, or not a husky. Pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get the correct nomenclature.
Husky.
Oh, the hybrid, half wolf, half husky.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, but the thing about the prequel, they did borrow a lot. It kind of could be looked at as a love letter. For the most part, I thought it was enjoyable. I mean, maybe it's just because of the actual actors that are in the movie. There's a couple of them that I like Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. There's one guy I can't think of.
The guy
his name.
from The Gift. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Joel Edgerton.
Yeah, he was good too.
Whatever.
Yeah, so I mean, he was.
Thank you, Morgan.
He could probably play McCready if they ever did make a remake.
Yeah, but that's like
do it again.
Yeah, exactly. I think The Thing is a movie that should never be remade, ever. And if they do, they should burn in hell.
Ooh, speaking of, like, I don't know, y'all probably haven't seen it because it's like a young movie, well, based on a book. What's it called? Oh, The Fifth Wave. It came out, but it's like when I was watching The Thing, I just watched it last night, so like it reminded me of The Fifth Wave is kind of like The Thing. So whether they're humans or aliens.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few things that have kind of, you know, I don't know how to even say it. They kind of were influenced by The Thing with the, you know, group panic, I think, which is one of my favorite things to see. Nobody trusts anyone.
Yeah.
That's like my life.
That's everyone's life.
Shut up! I don't trust you.
America.
Still waiting for your blood sample.
Yep. I don't have a blood sample, but I have a semen and a stool sample.
Hold on. Do you have fillings in your teeth? Do you have a hip replacement, maybe?
That's what I wanted to cover. Going back.
Okay, dental work. Got it.
Going back to The Thing. The Thing doesn't replicate jewelry. That was another way that you could tell who was infected and who wasn't.
Well, in the remake or the prequel, they were checking people's their gum,
Prince Albert's
teeth. Yeah, their PAs. But,
Prince Albert's.
Yeah, no, but they were checking because they couldn't recreate. It was like a hip bone, wasn't it? Somebody had their hip replaced, and they in
their arm, in his arm.
Okay, yeah, they couldn't do metal complex. It's like the T-1000. The reverse. Never mind. Then nobody watched T2?
I love T2. It's
T2.
Not as good as the first one, but I love T2. But yeah. So
what's your point there, Brian? That what with the fillings and different, pins?
Well, the Thing could never replicate jewelry. It could never. You're right.
Inorganic material.
There you go.
Yeah. And you're right. They didn't stress it more until the 2011 version. I don't think anyone had a lot of.
That was their
jewelry.
version of not having to do the blood test scene. You know, that was their blood test scene because they wanted to do something like that, I think, but they could not just recreate the blood test scene again. So they'd use the metal, which I don't know if that was part of the lore of the first movie. You know, if they ever even touched on it. That I don't think they did.
Wait a minute. Now,
not that I'm aware of.
Look, with the metal scene, I think that kind of borrows from an entirely different movie, actually. Phantoms. If anyone's ever seen that film,
Ben Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms.
Ben Affleck was the bomb!
Anyway, there's a scene with all this jewelry, but they think it's jewelry, but it's actually fillings, pins, and different things is found on a bed. It's been tossed away because it couldn't be assimilated, if you would, with the Phantom, the film. So I think the other film kind of borrows from that standpoint.
Now, Baron, you're watching The Thing right now. Does I don't know if you can skip ahead and see when Blair Thing comes out. Is Blair Thing wearing his glasses? Because I know he's wearing glasses when he's regular Blair.
Okay, well, right now I got the scene up where McReady's making the tape. And he's going to hide while he's drinking the JB. Why is it when you guys come back to me, there's a drinking scene on? I don't know what that's all about. But
we're going to create the new Thing drinking game.
Yeah. Okay, I'm playing the drinking game again. All right. Oh, damn it. Oh, God. I'm going to be famous.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, I'll see if I can find the scene.
No problem.
How about another Baron? How about another reading from the Book of Armaments? Perhaps you can rattle off.
To 41.
Okay.
Oh, it's a puppy.
Rattle off some ordnance for us.
Is it a real puppy or is it the Thing?
It's Keith David.
It smells real.
Not to be confused with David Keith.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting on that, Brian wants everybody to get the Scream Factory edition And make sure, first of all, Brian, I would go ahead and suggest this, that Terror Takes Shape documentary from 2004 is on there.
Okay, cool.
And there's the making of The Thing, but you can watch the network broadcast version of The Thing that apparently John Carpenter disowned.
That's
it has
right.
Added scenes and a lot of stuff taken out. I haven't watched it yet. Don't know that I will. Brian says it's VHS quality. I suggest that it needs to be on the VHS Midnight that I'll never learn a real name for.
That's okay. We'll figure it out one day. Yeah, the PBS broadcast, things that you'll notice if you do have the Scream Factory edition, which is $17.99 off the Best Buy website. It is the cheapest on Best Buy right now. If you get off of Barnes & Noble, it's in its 30s. Or any other website.
Amazon, I think it's $29.99, so...
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Best Buy is the cheapest right now, and you get the full version.
Let me see if it's still...
Don't delay, order today.
The PBS broadcast version is we talked about it earlier with Rayzilla. You're right. It is a cut version. They cut out a lot of the graphic scenes, such as the neck slitting scene in the Norwegian camp, and any other scenes that involve gore, including this. They minimize the scene with the dogs. But what they do in the PBS broadcast version is that they have a narrator, and the narrator introduces the place where they're at, style, like documentary style. Interesting thing is that they introduce all the characters and their backgrounds, and they're like, this is McCready. He is a torn helicopter pilot, and he just wants to go home to his family.
Does it feel like a documentary?
Wow.
And he has a majestic beard.
Because it sounds like a documentary.
The beginning feels like a narration. It's definitely goes into third person narrative, and then after that it goes into the movie. It's a very condensed version of the movie, and at the end it has an alternate ending, which is I want to quote that alternate ending. I don't know if you guys will be watching it or if you would like me to tell you what happens. So how do you guys feel about that? Can I spoil it?
Thank you.
Spoil it?
Just spoil it.
Yeah, go ahead, tell us.
I just want to show everybody also, here's the Amazon.com. You can see on Blu-ray, the Scream Factory Collector's Edition is $34.93.
Holy fuck balls.
Exactly.
Yeah. So bestbuy.com, you get it for $17.99.
Yeah, and it's still on sale on bestbuy.com. I'm going to go ahead and share it with you guys while Brian spoils the ending of the PBS version. There it is. $17.99. Get it while you can, fools.
The alternate ending of
that price.
The PBS broadcast version of The Thing that was disowned by John Carpenter. After the little confrontation with McCready and Childs, it is now daytime, and they recycle stock footage of smoke from a fire at the base camp site during the daytime, and they recycle stock footage of the husky running through the snow. And then you get a little narration again about how the thing escaped in the form of a husky, and then that is the alternate ending.
Fantastic. I'm going to go down and watch it now when I get off here. Man, I'm stoked.
It's just...
You got to remember, the dog can do a lot of things because, it's a pooch. But of course, in the film, we do learn one neat thing. The thing does not cure people of diseases. Because if you remember to the film, when you got Charles Hannon's character who has the heart attack, heart disease, the thing can't cure that. So, some advantages and some disadvantages.
Can he cure diabetes?
I told you no! We'll have to look into it, shall we?
That's a Wilford Brimley joke.
Yeah.
My favorite scene in The Thing is when Blair is tearing up the communications room, and then he shoots at Childs and screams, "I'll kill you," and throws a gun at him. Like, that's one of my favorite hilarious scenes of the movie. If you have time, listening to Wilford Brimley scream "I'll kill you" it's just like those diabetes commercials.
Mm-hmm. My scenes would be pretty much anything with the whiskey in it. It's basically the entire movie for me. Just keep drinking.
All right, so yeah, would anyone like to wrap up? Any last final thoughts on The Thing? I know we talked extensively about it. We had a video playing earlier today, and
okay, The Thing is the best remake ever of any horror remake. Mm-hmm. It's a fine movie, great effects, a good story that will keep you kind of like on the edge of your seats, wondering who's the thing. Mm-hmm. It's a good movie. I suggest it, and go to bestbuy.com and buy the Scream Factory. Scream Factory Blu-rays are the best. It's a 2K transfer, people.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Loaded with extra features.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I
just bought it, so there.
Anyone collecting, anyone a Blu-ray collector, Scream Factory did a really nice job with this.
I did get a chance to put it in and watch a little bit of it this afternoon, and it does look better, and the sound matches up to my original copy on Blu-ray, which the fucking syncing isn't right.
How about that?
Get rid of it.
Trash it.
I'm trashing that in my Nightmare on Elm Street collection too, because that's garbage too.
Well, if there's any horror science fiction film monster movie that you have to own on Blu-ray, on disc, we live in a society now where tangible media is kind of losing ground. And so if there is a movie that you need to own a physical copy of, this is definitely it. I can't think of, when it comes to monster movies anyway, it's one of the finest, and it holds up to this day. It's an excellent movie. And Kurt Russell, back in 1982, I knew Kurt Russell as a Disney kid. He was the Computer Wears Tennis Shoes and things like that. He did a lot of Disney films. So to see him in this movie was a bit of a surprise, because I really don't think that he had. This predates, obviously, it predates Escape from New York, but it also predates some of his other stuff, even some of the rom-coms he would do later on, particularly with Goldie Hawn.
Overboard.
So this is a movie well worth owning.
Does anyone know the first project that John Carpenter and Kurt Russell worked on?
I do not.
It's called Elvis Presley.
Oh yeah. You got me.
The TV movie.
You got me. Yeah.
That's right. The network movie. That's right.
Yep.
How about that? That's right. And Kurt Russell was not even considered for the role of McGreevy at first, because to what Brian was saying before, that it was intentionally written as a female role. But then it was changed, and even then, Kurt Russell was simply helping Carpenter out with casting at that point, and I believe Carpenter asked him if he would like to be in the film, and he agreed. But yeah, I knew Kurt Russell as a Disney kid. He made Disney movies. He was the Bieber of my time.
He's the Bieber of my time right now.
Oh my God. I wouldn't even compare him to Bieber. Be more respectable. Jesus Christ.
Well, he was a Disney kid, though. Seriously, I don't know. You might want to look him up on the IMDb. But,
oh yeah, no, he was a Disney kid, but Disney had balls back in the day.
Well, he outgrew it. I mean, but I'm sure he did a movie with Dean Jones at some point.
He outgrew Disney's balls.
Yeah, and groomed them too.
Yeah, he outgrew Disney's balls. Yes, you heard it here, folks.
Yikes!
Anyone else?
Your cards and letters too.
Anyone else have any final thoughts on the thing?
Love it, own it. Make sure it's in your collection. That's all I have to say.
Jared, do you have the Scream Factory?
I do. I actually bought.
Fantastic.
I bought the original one that had 2 slip cases and 2 posters.
What was the other one? Do you have it on hand?
Yeah, let me put the puppy down.
Put the damn puppy down.
If you guys are fans of Futurama, we named him Nibbler.
Puppies.
Oh, I like that one better.
Yeah, this one I actually put over my older Blu-ray.
Nice. I need to start doing that. Buying when they have the limited release. Like Rob Martinez, our friend of the Horror Syndicate, Rob Martinez.
Yeah.
Mr. Scream Factory himself.
Yeah.
Watch out where the Huskies go, and don't you eat that yellow snow. Oh, Frank Zappa, I miss you. I miss you, Frank Zappa. I miss you so much.
I loved Joe's Garage. That was my favorite.
I saw Zappa perform a few times.
Yeah, I saw Zappa do Zappa
on Halloween. I attended one of the infamous Halloween shows.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, not to make you sound old, but he passed away a few years after I was born, Ray.
And quite possibly to this day, still one of the greatest American composers to have ever lived. I miss him dearly.
Do not eat that.
Don't eat that yellow snow, Nanook.
Oh, come on. The Thing was a good movie. Look, the black guy doesn't die that early in the film. One does, but the other one makes it to the end.
Yeah. Now, Knowles in the story was supposed to commit suicide after getting confronted with Blair. I know I just threw that in there because he just kind of like disappears or walks away from McCready when they're setting up the dynamite.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone had any input about that. Okay, cool.
No.
All right, so we'll wrap it up. Morgan, do you have anything you want to say?
Okay.
I was looking up theories online before this because I have never heard any, because obviously I just watched it last night. And there's one that people thought Childs was a human at the end because he had his earring in still. But then other people were like, but the Thing could have just like evolved at that point and learned to or whatever, and or something. I don't know. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, they didn't debunk that theory until the 2011 version when it couldn't replace jewelry. I know they also said that Childs wasn't breathing, where McCready was breathing, but then there is a breath that Childs makes towards the end of this conversation, so that kind of throws that theory out. But yeah, I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. That pivotal moment at the very ending, where they're confronted with each other. The viewer will never know. As John Carpenter may say that Childs and McCready survive and get off, but we don't see that. That's something that they'll always know the true ending to. But to the average horror fan or just film consumer, we will never know the ending.
I think that's one of the best things about the movie for me, and good. I'm glad there are tons of theories out there. They're fun to read, but the ambiguity of the end of the movie is one of the things I like about it.
It keeps the discussion going. The ambiguous ending. It's like the ending to The Sopranos. Is Tony dead or not? It's left for interpretation.
Wait, he died?
And that's what and that's one of the things that makes the movie as good as it is, and why we continue to discuss it. And yes, Tony Soprano's dead. Yes.
I haven't even seen it yet. I've never seen an episode of The Sopranos.
You're looking very spooky there. I love Razor's shot. You really went for the atmosphere there.
It's my floating head.
Yeah, it's a little bit. You almost look like the Mighty Oz. You really do. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Attention to the man behind the microphone.
All right, so you can find us. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Horror Syndicate. You can find us on Twitter at Horror Syndicate. You can find us on Instagram at Horror Syndicate. If you want to reach out to us personally, or just to get some sexy photos from Rayzilla, we can provide that for you. You can hit us up individually. You can reach me at Brian Enright on Facebook, or on Twitter you can reach me at The Horror Tube. Baron, where can we find you?
Well, on Facebook you can find me under Baron Craze. On Twitter it's at Baron_Craze. And lastly, just remember, everybody, on Friday nights it's the Baron's Crypt. 2 hours of horror history, tidbits, news, and just pure insanity running amok.
Amok.
All right, awesome. Jared, where can we find you at?
If you choose to follow me on Facebook or like me on Facebook, you can find me at Jared Letourneau, or follow me on Twitter at zombie_survivor.
All right, awesome. Morgan, where can we find you at?
You can follow me on Twitter at Morgan_S. Oh no, did it mess up?
No, it didn't.
But you said it wrong.
Yeah,
on
you
my computer. What? I said it really fast. Computer's messing up. I don't know what's happening.
Morgan_Joel_S.
All right, Rayzilla, where can we find you?
Blah! You can follow me on Twitter, you tweet.
Blah, blah, blah.
At Rayzilla NJ. Yes, come and follow me on the Twitter, on the interwebs, and all of the other things that are there. Oh, so scary. Oh.
All right, and last but not least, Ray Merrick, where can we find you?
Razor. You can find me on Twitter at Razor_33 if you want to follow me. All I do is retweet the Horror Syndicate anyway. And if you want to follow me on Facebook, go to Rage of Razor. That's RAYZOR. And I'm going to just throw this out there for next week's episode. I don't know if we're going to do one because it's Thanksgiving Wednesday. We haven't discussed that. But if anybody who's watching has a suggestion of a movie that they'd like us to talk about, please let us know.
Thanks,
Killing.
Fuck. we do still plan before the end of the year. Before the end of the year, we're going to talk about the top 100 horror films that we did. That's all I got. Follow me at Razor_33 and Rage of Razor on Facebook for all of my comic book exploits. Because I'm a writer, yo.
All right. Well, thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
Horror Syndicate. You want more of us? You want more of Brian Enright?
Who doesn't want more of Brian Enright? All right. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody, and everyone have a great night and stay scary. Right? Did I steal that from someone?
More JB whiskey.
Stay scared.
Drink JB whiskey. Have a good night, everybody.